What's up, YouTubers? This is the CJRB Feldspar. It's a kind of a cheap budget knife. This one I checked is currently goes for $39.99, so $40 knife. It provides for These are good knives that are for giveaways. Being a knife ambassador, as I am for this channel, it's always nice to have some knives that you can just kind of give away on a moment's notice and just say, "Oh yeah, somebody needs a knife. Here you go." So this is somebody that we camp with regularly. I gave this to him about 3 years ago, and this has come back around 3 years later. You can see some pretty good use here, and it's going to need to be need to be maintenance by a good margin. So, and fully sharpened up. It's definitely, the blade is dulled up. You can you can see some deflections, but yeah, it's fully dulled. And I'm going to go ahead and recondition this. I'll go ahead and link that at the end of the videos for those that don't want to watch it, just to see what I do. Take this apart, clean it all up, sharpen it, and so forth. Like I said, that'll be at the end. And then what I'm going to do, though, is after that's done, I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts on this particular knife. Not necessarily going to do a full review, just because I had already carried this one before I gave this away. Just never did a review on it. So we'll go with that. Oops, I forgot to show. Quick cut. Following my hand sharpening. So this is with double paper. Yeah, it does sharpen okay when I got the burr off. Just getting the burr off just took a little bit of challenge. So yeah, what's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to talk about this CJRB Feldspar 3 years later. This is a knife that I gave away about 3+ years ago to a camping buddy. I might have already even said this in the opening. If I did, you know what? Sorry. But in any case, gave this away. It got abused for 3 years. I just reconditioned it. I spent a good bit of time. Like I said, in that, I think it was soaked in coffee at some point in time. So in any case, let's jump into it. CJRB is Artisan Cutlery's budget line. This knife is very much a budget knife. It was 30. It's right now it sells for $39.99, basically a $40 knife, and I don't even know what I got it for. It was probably close to that $40 price range. It weighs 4.1 ounces, 3.5-inch blade of D2 steel, has G10 scales and nested liners. So that's kind of jumping into one of the good things about this, is it does have nested liners. With the nested liners, it has thumb stud deployment. It works for the backside, though the detent is quite stout. So it does take a little bit of pain on your middle finger to spidey flick it. Left-handed, it works decently well. Plus, it does have a pocket clip that will allow you to mount this. Very interesting how they use the barrel spacer. Waste nothing on this. But it is on bearings, and it has reasonably good action, both in the deployment and retraction positions. The pivot walked initially, and then I did have to do some. In fact, it walked again just because I reconditioned it. So I had to put some. I'm gonna have to put some thread locker in, some blue. So all right, that would be the oh gosh, what's that called? Loctite blue or whatever. Let's jump into some comparisons and alternatives. I don't have a ton of budget knives anymore at this point in time, but the CRKT Columbia River Knife and Tool, 3.3-inch blade. This is the LCK lightweight compact knife. Kind of similar blade profiles, obviously not as tall, a little bit smaller carry. That one goes for, I don't know, $45, 8CR13 MOV. And then the QSP Penguin, my other heavy giveaway knife. That's one I usually carry a couple, or I have a few on me that I can just give to people. It's a 3-inch blade. This one is titanium, so it's $100. But the basic ones with my Carta G10 are in the $35 to $45 range with G10 and micarta, and again D2 steel. This one is CPM 154. So that's kind of what you'd be looking at for. There's not a lot of knives for $40 that are decent. In terms of the pros of this knife, I will say it's an inexpensive giveaway knife. This is great for channels that want to give away knives, or just you want to, as an ambassador, give away knives to people that are going to probably abuse them, not necessarily take great care of them. Not that Rusty didn't take decent care, but it took its share of abuse. didn't get clean and so forth, but I did recondition this. That's a decent small carry for a 3.5-inch blade. Again, I mentioned those nested liners, keeping it relatively small in size this way. And with the thumb stud deployment, there's no flipper to get in the way. So it is, yeah, it's a decently small carry, you know. The G10 did pretty well over time. Let me go ahead and show. It obviously took a few drops. You can kind of see where it took some drops on both sides. And, you know, it handled well. You know, they were thinned out, of course, because they were going to nest the liners in there. But on the whole, G10 did pretty good. And as I did already mention, ambidextrous carry and deployment with those thumb studs. Just go ahead and flip this on the back side of there, and you're good to go. In terms of the cons, the D2 was very soft. I did sharpen this freehand, convex, on diamond stones, and it was just, by soft, I don't mean, it just, I don't know, it didn't, unlike some D2, which is better than others, this one, and I think I felt the same way about Civivi's D2, it either chips or it's just really soft, and it's kind of hard to get the burr broken off. You got to really just work on it a little bit. You just got to be patient with it more than anything. Plus, I could tell based on the use that I did have to leave one chip in there. May or may not show. But like I said, my guess is it's probably in the 59 HRC range. Is it terrible? No. Is it great? No. You know, it's what I would expect for a budget knife of this sort. This is the horrible about this knife. The hardware is T6 for the body screws, and in combination the pocket clip, and then it's T9. Not a huge deal on the T9. That was okay, unusual, but the T6s were so poorly defined. They were kind of already stripping, some of them. In fact, the one on the very top of the other side of the barrel spacer, it doesn't even look like a T. It almost just looks like an Allen wrench. And so I would say the hardware on this was a struggle and a half to get apart, to disassemble and clean this thing out. The hardware was absolutely terrible. So this isn't going to be coming apart again. If it ever needs maintenance, I'll just take off the pivot and actually just sandwich it in and out. It works fine because they're nice inset grooves on the blade. So yeah, I actually had to do that a couple times because I was trying to get it centered when I re-put it back together. And you know, and I know that I had accidentally swapped the pivot, so I swapped it back, and it actually got worse. Actually, we've got a little bit of, so I am going to have to. There we go. Just recenter that thing. Get some Loctite in there, and on the whole, it was most nightmarish hardware I've ever worked on. So that was just a big con. The back spacing barrels here also had no captive kind of D-shape flange. So you have to have two T6s, again, T6s to take that apart. Just a pain in the butt. It's one of those things where, you know, who knows, maybe the modern ones have corrected that. I don't know. This seemed to be an early one. And then the liner wear down is quite extensive. This has only been used on camping trips, which is not used a whole lot, and the lock face is going over probably about 65-75%, and if you really wing it hard, it goes basically almost flush to that other side. So there's definitely been some wear on that, the liner lock face. On the whole, this is a really good giveaway knife that can be abused without too much pain. If you lose or break it. In terms of maintenance, you're probably only going to get 1 or 2 maintenances of this one, just because the T6 on the barrel spacer hardware. You know, heaven help me if Rusty ever were to want that over on the other side. I don't think so, but yeah, is it worth every bit of the $40? Probably not much more than a penny more than that. I'm going to go ahead and link the disassembly, and you can see how abused this knife was and what kind of shape I got it in the end. So yeah, this one was quite an effort. I hope this was interesting. If not of use, I appreciate the like and subscribe if it was. Take care. So first interesting thing on this one, the pivot screw is a T9, Torx T9, not a T8 and not a T10. So that was interesting. And then the body screws here, these are Torx T6. Torx T6. Yeah. So you'll need a Torx T9, Torx T6 to take this thing apart. We'll put this T10 away and I'll probably go ahead and get started. Okay, so there is a captive pivot here. If you go on the, yeah, so that's actually locked in. So what you're gonna have to do is by default on the clip side for right-handed tip-up carry, that's where the pivot will come loose. Ooh, will it? Or is it just the opposite? No, I stand correctly. So yeah, it's going to be on the show side, so the opposite of the clip side. Yeah, I was confused there. So yeah, the T9 will take that pivot off, and then I'll go ahead and proceed from there. Okay, so I obviously need to wash this thing. This has seen much love out in the field. We got some good corrosion here. Looks like it was also dropped in a cup of coffee. So yeah, we'll go ahead and I'm gonna go clean this off camera, obviously, and we'll come back and start the reassembly and conditioning. So this is these are reasons that you shouldn't soak your knives in coffee. I'm not sure if that's what happened. I'll have to talk to Rusty about that. But yeah, I had to actually take these to full cleaning soap water, air dry with the hair dryer. There's still some corrosion, a decent bit of corrosion, so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to use a little bit of mineral oil just to oil these things up and get those surfaces protected. So we'll go ahead and start there. Yeah, but it's okay.
I'm trying to do enough.
What's up, YouTubers? Ow. Shit.